Hello, beautiful souls. It's Taku here again, and we are here with another episode of Taku Talks. Today, I'm reading from a passage on Reddit called "What's the most supernatural experience you've ever had?" Now, as per usual, I'm going to read a few, and then, of course, give my own experience. All right. So here we go. The first one says, when I was 16, an uncle, her dad's brother, passed out of nowhere. Weeks later, I had a dream about him, and he told me to quit smoking cigarettes. It was way more involved, but it's been 20 plus years, so I don't remember, the exact details. A month or so later, I mentioned the dream to my parents, and my dad started crying, got up and walked away. Apparently, he dreamed of talking to his brother too, and he told my dad that he needed to talk to me. That's very strange. I've had a couple dreams where I had a dream and then next day or a week later it happened in real life. Actually, when was this? I'd say 2 or 3 years ago. I had a dream that my mom's mother, who's passed away, in the dream asked her who in the family was spiritual. My mom pointed to me, and I assume she meant spiritual not in the sense of religion, but just spiritual in sense of being in tune with the universe, I guess, because that's the only way I have been spiritual. The whole energy and vibrations, all that shtick is what I've been into. So I've had that dream and another one too that I won't get into that was extra fucking creepy. But yeah, it's weird. Another says, my grandfather loved my grandmother a lot. He would constantly tell her she was beautiful and would always do embarrassing things to make her laugh. It's sweet. Unfortunately, she died a few months after being diagnosed with cancer. This affected him a lot, but as time went on, he came to terms with it. My grandfather lived on for another 18 years. Jesus Christ. In his final years, he developed really bad Alzheimer's that led him to forget that his wife had passed away and would often call for her or ask us where she went. That's just so fucking sad. Jesus Christ. We'd explained to him that she had passed away, but it always made him distressed and upset, so we decided to tell him she'll be back soon. Every time he asked where she was. Jesus Christ. I keep saying Christ, but fucking Christ, it's just sad. A month or so before my grandfather passed away, I was at his house with my mother, and we were all sitting in the living room. My grandfather, who was seated on his chair, all of a sudden starts frantically asking us where my grandmother was. We calmly explained to him that she'll be back soon, and she was just out doing some chores. Unlike most times, he was being persistent on wanting to see her. We explained to him again that she'll be back soon, but he kept getting more and more persistent. He started to call her frantically. He even screamed her name as loud as he could over and over again until out of nowhere, every single door and window in the room flung open all at once. The fuck? Now, we could say that it was just wind, but all the doors and windows in the house had secure locks and would stay locked at all times since my grandfather would wander off or forget to lock his doors. I was gonna say too, if he has Alzheimer's, you would definitely think everything is locked, because folks with Alzheimer's often wander off or get lost and stuff. So that's weird. All the doors and windows burst open, and at the same second, my grandma, I'm sorry. All the doors and windows burst open, and at that same second, my grandfather, who was facing the front door, says, "What took you so long? I've been waiting for you," with a smile. What the hell? My mother and I didn't see the person my grandfather talked to, but I'm sure that he saw his wife. Yeah, that's weird. Wow, that's really weird. The next one says, I've posted about this before, but when I was about 9 years old in 95, in the middle of a bright summer day, I went to the fridge to get a popsicle. Suddenly, a roughly teenage-looking guy with long brown hair wearing a beige turtleneck and red plaid bell-bottoms turned around the corner into the hallway to my left, then vanished from toe to head as I looked at him. Wow. Told no one about it for years until after my mother mentioned meeting the now grown kids who lived in the house before us, who asked her if she'd seen the bell-bottom ghost. Yeah, that's weird. One of those things you swear you were just seeing things to convince yourself that you weren't seeing things. Another one. About a year ago, my coworker and I went to get coffee at a new coffee shop that opened up by our work. I was dealing with a lot of anxiety over my future. Anyway, while in line, there was a woman in front of me. She was giving her order when she stopped mid-sentence and looks behind her to see me. She turns back around, gives the barista her order. After I give my order, she comes up to me and says, "Hey, I know this is going to sound weird, but do you know a man named Jim?" Her words took me off guard because Jim was my grandpa, and he died of cancer. He didn't live in the same state as I did, so I doubt he and this woman would have ever met. I told her, yes, he's my grandpa. And she told me that he wanted me to know that I needed to stop worrying because everything was going to be okay. Cue me crying in the middle of the coffee store in front of my bewildered coworker and a couple of strangers. Another says, when I was 15, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw this strange spotlight appear on my wall. Oh God. It was a circle made up of a bunch of bright circular dots within it. It came on strong, then rotated. It came on strong, then turned 90 degrees, and then turned off. It was so surreal because the light was extremely bright, and yet it was also focused on that one spot on my wall. When I woke up the next morning, I couldn't get the image out of my head, but I just assumed I must have dreamed it. My sister and I were talking over breakfast, and she said, "Hey, I had this dream last night that my entire room suddenly lit up with the circular dots floating around my room." I got really excited and said, "That happened to me. I woke up and saw it too." She froze and said, "How's that possible? My blinds are completely shut." Chills to this day. That is weird. It's just, this world seems so objective and if it's weird, it's not real, or if you can't explain it, it's not real. You're just imagining it. And we had that same thought process 100 years ago, 200 years ago. We would tell folks that they were crazy or just seeing things. And then later we were able to explain it, whether it be by science or some weird ass thing, but either way, stuff always ends up being able to be explained. And not everything, but just a lot of stuff. So I'm always interested to know if things like this will ever have an explanation, or whether it's weird or based in science or what's the word, reality, I guess. Another one time, me and my husband were watching TV in our living room. He decided to kick his shoes off while sitting on the couch, and both shoes landed in front of the TV stand, on the floor and on their sides. About 30 minutes into the TV show we were watching, one of his shoes, out of the fucking blue, moved upwards by itself. I froze up on the couch, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw my husband staring at his shoe, looking startled. Then I said to him, "Did you see that?" He replied, "Yes." My eyes started to get really huge, and he saw that I was about to really flip out, and he said, it's okay. Calm down. I'll burn some cider." So then he did, and all felt well again. We're native, so we just smudged that hoe out of our house. And last one. My best friend's dad, who was a second father to me, came to me in a dream and told me to tell my best friend that he loved her and that he was sorry. I woke up to my cell phone ringing to find my best friend absolutely hysterical, telling me that he finally passed away from sclerosis. I sobbed all day. He was a drunk our whole lives, but it still hurt. Damn. Stuff like that does suck and it does hurt. But I wouldn't say is like something we need, but I really do feel that when it comes to closure and being able to just move on, it does help. So even though some folks, do view dreams like that as, oh, it was just your brain and subconscious doing that for this reason or that reason, it's still, nice to be a little naive or a little into the hocus pocus to, get that comfort, get that closure. So I find that really, really nice. But the story I have, I was 19 or 20, one of those. I was young, and I was living at my girlfriend's parents' house. And one night in her room, it was really late, about 1 a.m, if not a little later. It was me, her, and our cat. And we're just sitting there watching Chum Chum. Was it Chum Chum? It was a cartoon. Anyway, so we're just sitting there chilling, relaxing. No one's talking. It's quiet. The TV's just on. We're chilling. Out of nowhere, her and my cat both jump hard as fuck. Like, they jump like hard. And both at the same time look at the door. And I'm wondering what's going on. So I ask her, what's wrong? Because, again, they both jumped at the same time. And she said, you didn't hear that? And I was like, hear what? And she said, the banging on the door. I'm like, banging? I didn't hear anything. She said, yeah, it was a loud ass bang on the door. She literally said it's like, but I didn't hear a goddamn thing. It's like, and her door was literally about 3-4 feet away from us, like 3 or 4 if 4. It was really close. So it's why I was so shocked that I didn't hear anything, but they both did. So I was like, that's really, really weird. And then it happened again like 2 weeks later, and then again a month after that, and then afterwards we didn't hear any banging like ever again. I'm 27, almost 28 now, and I haven't had, well, in terms of stuff like that, banging on doors or shit, like I haven't had any more like that. But that I'll never forget, and that will also have me always questioning this world and everything that we live in, because of the fact that like her and the cat both jumped hard as fuck at the same time. And obviously it's because they both heard it, but I didn't hear anything. So it's like they experienced it, I didn't. But who am I to say that it wasn't anything or wasn't real when a cat heard it and jumped and a human heard it and jumped? So it's like, the fuck is this world? And it's stuff like that also that just keeps me in existential, I don't want to say dread, but just like, what is life? What's the fucking purpose? Like, because obviously stuff isn't as we, think. Nothing is as it seems, because all the light that we do see, everything we see, I believe is literally less than 1% of actual reality. We still can't see X-rays, we can't see gamma rays. There's a bunch we can't see. So just imagine what things actually are, what things really look like. So it's just life, man. It's a joke in a way. But that was Taku Talks. Give me your comments, your stories if you have any, or stories of anyone you know. And I will talk to you later. See you on the next episode. Love you.